Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there was a magical forest called Whispering Woods. This forest was no ordinary forest. It was filled with talking animals, enchanted trees, and sparkling streams that sang lullabies. The Whispering Woods was a place where magic was as common as the air you breathe, and every creature, big or small, had a special role to play. In the heart of the forest stood a grand, ancient oak tree known as Elder Oak. Elder Oak was the wisest and oldest tree in the entire forest. His branches reached high into the sky, and his roots delved deep into the earth. He was the guardian of the forest, and all the creatures looked up to him for guidance and wisdom. One sunny morning, a young rabbit named Thumper woke up in his cozy burrow. Thumper was no ordinary rabbit. He had soft, golden fur that shimmered in the sunlight and ears that could hear the faintest whispers of the wind. Thumper was known for his boundless curiosity and adventurous spirit. He loved exploring every nook and cranny of the Whispering Woods, always eager to discover something new. As Thumper hopped out of his burrow, he noticed something unusual. The forest was quieter than usual. The birds weren't singing, the streams weren't humming, and even the leaves on the trees seemed to be holding their breath. Thumper's ears twitched with curiosity. He decided to investigate. He hopped over to his best friend, a clever fox named Felix. Felix was known for his sharp mind and quick thinking. He had bright orange fur with a white-tipped tail and eyes that sparkled with mischief. Felix was already awake, sitting by the edge of the sparkling stream, deep in thought. "Felix, have you noticed how quiet the forest is today?" Thumper asked, his ears drooping with concern. Felix nodded, his bushy tail swishing thoughtfully. "Yes, Thumper, something feels off. I think we should go see Elder Oak. He'll know what's going on." Together, Thumper and Felix made their way to the grand oak tree. As they approached, they saw a crowd of animals gathered around Elder Oak. There were deer, squirrels, birds, and even a family of hedgehogs. Everyone looked worried. Elder Oak's deep, soothing voice echoed through the forest. "My dear friends, I sense a disturbance in the Whispering Woods. The magic that flows through our home is weakening." They traveled through dense thickets, crossed bubbling brooks, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, they encountered many challenges. They faced a treacherous swamp filled with quicksand, a dark cave inhabited by mischievous bats, and a field of thorny bushes that seemed to stretch on forever. But through teamwork, courage, and determination, they overcame each obstacle. Thumper's keen senses helped them navigate through the swamp. Felix's clever thinking outsmarted the bats. Daisy's speed allowed them to cross the thorny field quickly, and Oliver's wisdom guided them through the darkest parts of the forest. Finally, after days of traveling, they reached the entrance of the enchanted cavern. The cavern was hidden behind a waterfall, its entrance glowing with an eerie light. The air was thick with magic, and the ground beneath their feet hummed with energy. As they stepped inside, they were greeted by the spirit of the forest. The spirit was a magnificent creature, part deer, part bird, and part tree. Its eyes glowed with a gentle light, and its voice echoed like the wind through the trees. "Who dares to enter the enchanted cavern?" the spirit asked, its voice both soothing and commanding. Thumper stepped forward, his heart pounding. "We are Thumper, Felix, Daisy, and Oliver. We have come to retrieve the heart of the forest and restore the magic to the Whispering Woods." The spirit studied them for a moment, then nodded. "You have shown great courage and determination to come this far. But to prove yourselves worthy of the heart of the forest, you must pass one final test." The spirit led them to a large, glowing pool in the center of the cavern. The water shimmered with all the colors of the rainbow, and in the middle of the pool, on a pedestal of stone, rested the heart of the forest. The crystal was breathtakingly beautiful. To retrieve the heart of the forest, you must work together to solve the riddle of the pool, the spirit said. Only then will the crystal be yours. The spirit recited the riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? The team huddled together, their minds racing to solve the riddle. Thumper's ears twitched as he thought hard. Felix's eyes narrowed in concentration. Daisy tapped her hoof on the ground, and Oliver's feathers ruffled as he pondered. After a few moments, Felix's eyes lit up. I think I've got it. The answer is fire. The spirit smiled and nodded. Correct. Fire is not alive, but it grows. It needs air to burn, and water can extinguish it. You have proven your wisdom and teamwork. With that, the spirit stepped aside, allowing the team to approach the heart of the forest. Thumper carefully picked up the crystal, feeling its warmth and power in his paws. The moment he touched it, a surge of energy flowed through him, filling him with hope and determination. The team made their way back to the Whispering Woods, the heart of the forest glowing brightly in Thumper's grasp. As they approached Elder Oak, the forest seemed to come alive once more. The birds began to sing, the streams hummed their lullabies, and the leaves rustled with joy. Elder Oak's branches swayed with relief and gratitude. You have done it, my brave friends. You have saved the Whispering Woods. Thumper placed the heart of the forest at the base of Elder Oak, and a brilliant light spread throughout the forest. The magic was restored, stronger than ever before. The animals cheered and celebrated, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. From that day on, Thumper, Felix, Daisy, and Oliver were hailed as heroes of the Whispering Woods. They had proven that with courage, teamwork, and determination, anything was possible. And the forest continued to thrive, a magical haven for all its inhabitants, thanks to the bravery of a young rabbit and his friends. And so, the Whispering Woods remained a place of wonder and enchantment, where every creature lived in harmony, and the magic of the forest flowed endlessly, forever and always. The Whispering Woods had been saved, and life returned to its magical rhythm. The animals celebrated the return of the heart of the forest, and Thumper, Felix, Daisy, and Oliver were hailed as heroes. But as the days turned into weeks, a new unease began to creep into the forest. The animals noticed strange changes. Shadows seemed darker, the air felt heavier, and the once sparkling streams now had a faint, murky tinge. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Thumper sat outside his burrow, gazing at the stars. His golden fur shimmered in the moonlight, but his heart felt heavy. He couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. Just then, Felix trotted up, his bushy tail flicking nervously. Thumper, have you noticed how different the forest feels lately? Felix asked, his voice low. Thumper nodded. Yes, it's like the magic is fading again. But how? We restored the heart of the forest. Before Felix could respond, a loud, eerie howl echoed through the trees. The sound sent shivers down their spines. It wasn't the howl of a wolf or any creature they knew. It was something darker, something unnatural. The next morning, the animals gathered around Elder Oak once more. The wise old tree's branches drooped, and his bark seemed paler than usual. My friends, Elder Oak began, his voice trembling, a great shadow has fallen over the Whispering Woods. The heart of the forest is safe, but its power is being drained by an ancient force, one we thought was long gone. What force? Daisy asked, her ears twitching nervously. The Shadow Weaver, Elder Oak replied, a being of darkness that feeds on magic. Long ago, it was sealed away by the first guardians of the forest. But now, it has returned, and it seeks to consume all the magic in the Whispering Woods. The animals gasped in fear. Thumper stepped forward, his determination shining through. We stopped the forest's magic from fading once. We can do it again. Tell us how to defeat the Shadow Weaver." Elder Oak's branches rustled as he spoke. "To defeat the Shadow Weaver, you must journey to the Forgotten Vale, a place beyond the Whispering Woods. There, you will find the Lumina Bloom, a flower that radiates pure light. Only its light can banish the darkness of the Shadow Weaver. But be warned, the journey is perilous, and the Shadow Weaver will do everything in its power to stop you." Thumper turned to his friends. Felix, Daisy, and Oliver nodded in agreement. They had faced danger before, and they were ready to do it again. Together, they prepared for their journey, gathering supplies and saying goodbye to their families. As they set off, the forest seemed to grow darker with every step. The trees loomed overhead, their branches twisting into strange shapes. The air was thick with an unnatural silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves or the distant howl of the Shadow Weaver. After days of travel, they reached the edge of the Whispering Woods and entered the Forgotten Vale. The vale was a stark contrast to the forest, barren and desolate, with jagged rocks and a sky that seemed perpetually overcast. In the distance, they could see a faint glow, the light of the Lumina Bloom. But as they approached, the ground beneath them began to tremble. From the shadows emerged the Shadow Weaver, a towering figure of darkness, its form shifting and writhing like smoke. Its eyes glowed red, and its voice was a chilling whisper that echoed in their minds. "You cannot stop me," it hissed. "The magic of the forest will be mine." Thumper's heart raced, but he stood his ground. "We won't let you destroy our home." The Shadow Weaver lunged at them, its claws slashing through the air. Felix darted to the side, distracting the creature with his quick movements. Daisy charged forward, using her speed to dodge its attacks. Oliver swooped down from above, his talons scratching at the Shadow Weaver's smoky form. But the creature was relentless. It swiped at Thumper, sending him tumbling to the ground. As he struggled to get up, he noticed the Lumina Bloom just a few feet away. Its light was warm and inviting, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Summoning all his strength, Thumper leaped toward the flower. The Shadow Weaver roared, its form surging forward to stop him. But just as it reached him, Thumper plucked the Lumina Bloom from the ground. The moment he touched it, a brilliant light erupted from the flower, engulfing the Shadow Weaver. The creature let out a deafening screech as the light tore through its darkness, dissolving it into nothingness. The veil was filled with a radiant glow, and the oppressive shadow lifted. The team hurried back to the Whispering Woods, the Lumina Bloom glowing brightly in Thumper's paws. As they reached Elder Oak, the forest seemed to come alive once more. The streams sparkled, the trees swayed with joy, and the air was filled with the songs of birds. Elder Oak's voice was filled with gratitude. "You have done it again, my brave friends. The Shadow Weaver is gone, and the magic of the forest is safe." The animals cheered, their hearts filled with relief and joy. Thumper placed the Lumina Bloom at the base of Elder Oak, where it would continue to protect the forest from darkness. From that day on, the Lumina Bloom became a symbol of hope and courage in the Whispering Woods. Thumper, Felix, Daisy, and Oliver were celebrated as heroes once more, and their bond grew even stronger. They knew that as long as they stood together, no darkness could ever overcome their beloved home. And so, the Whispering Woods thrived, a magical haven where light always triumphed over darkness, and where the spirit of adventure and friendship lived on forever. The Whispering Woods had been saved twice now, first from the fading magic and then from the Shadow Weaver. Life in the forest was peaceful once more, and the animals lived in harmony under the watchful gaze of Elder Oak. The Lumina Bloom, now planted at the base of the ancient tree, radiated a gentle light that kept the darkness at bay. But as the seasons changed and the days grew shorter, a new mystery began to unfold. One crisp autumn evening, Thumper was sitting by the sparkling stream, watching the leaves fall from the trees. The golden hues of the forest seemed to glow in the fading sunlight, but something felt different. The air was charged with an energy he couldn't quite explain. As he gazed at the sky, he noticed something unusual. A streak of light, brighter than any star, shooting across the heavens. "Did you see that?" Felix's voice startled Thumper. The clever fox had appeared beside him, his sharp eyes fixed on the sky. "I did," Thumper replied, his ears twitching. "What do you think it was?" Before Felix could answer, another streak of light appeared, followed by another. Soon, the sky was filled with shimmering trails of light, like a cascade of stars falling to the earth. The animals of the forest gathered to watch in awe, their eyes wide with wonder. The next morning, Elder Oak called a meeting. His branches swayed gently as he spoke, his voice filled with both curiosity and concern. "My friends, last night's starfall was no ordinary event. It is a sign of an ancient prophecy." "A prophecy?" Daisy asked, her ears perking up. "What does it mean?" Elder Oak's voice grew solemn. "Long ago, it was foretold that when the stars fall from the sky, a great change will come to the Whispering Woods. The fallen stars carry with them a powerful magic, one that can either heal or harm. If the stars are not gathered and protected, their magic could fall into the wrong hands and bring chaos to our home." Thumper's heart raced. "What do we need to do?" "You must find the fallen stars and bring them to the Lumina Bloom," Elder Oak explained. "Only the light of the Lumina Bloom can contain their magic and keep it safe. But be warned, the journey will not be easy. The stars have scattered far and wide, and there are those who will seek to claim their power for themselves." Once again, Thumper, Felix, Daisy, and Oliver prepared for a journey. This time, they were joined by a new friend, a young, energetic hedgehog named Pippin. Pippin had a knack for finding hidden things, and his sharp quills could detect the faintest traces of magic. The team set off, following the trail of the fallen stars. Their first stop was the Crystal Caves, a labyrinth of glittering tunnels deep within the forest. The caves were beautiful but treacherous, with slippery floors and echoing chambers that played tricks on the mind. As they ventured deeper, they encountered a group of mischievous fireflies who had claimed one of the fallen stars. The fireflies buzzed around the star, their glowing bodies reflecting its light. They were reluctant to give it up, but Felix used his clever tongue to strike a deal. In exchange for the star, the team promised to help the fireflies find a new source of light, a patch of glowing mushrooms that grew nearby. With the first star safely in their possession, the team continued their journey. They traveled to the misty marsh, where the air was thick with fog and the ground was soft and squelchy. There, they found a second star, but it was guarded by a giant, grumpy toad named Bogart. Bogart refused to part with the star, claiming it was the only thing that kept the marsh from drying up. Daisy, with her quick thinking, suggested they use the Lumina Bloom's light to create a new source of magic for the marsh. After some convincing, Bogart agreed, and the team retrieved the second star. Their next challenge took them to the Windy Peaks, a range of towering mountains where the air was thin and the winds were fierce. The third star had landed on the highest peak, and the only way to reach it was to climb. Oliver, with his wings, scouted the path ahead, while Pippin used his quills to anchor the team as they climbed. At the top, they found the star, but it was surrounded by a swirling vortex of wind. The team worked together, using their combined strength to push through the vortex and claim the star. As they descended the mountain, they noticed a dark figure watching them from a distance. It was a raven with feathers as black as night and eyes that glowed with an unnatural light. The raven cawed ominously before flying away, leaving the team with a sense of unease. Their final destination was the Shadowed Grove, a part of the forest where the trees grew close together, blocking out the sunlight. The fourth star had landed here, but it was being guarded by the raven they had seen earlier. The raven, whose name was Malvora, was a servant of the shadow weaver's lingering darkness. She had been drawn to the star's magic and planned to use it to resurrect her master. A fierce battle ensued. Malvora swooped down, her talons slashing at the team. Thumper and Felix dodged her attacks, while Daisy and Pippin worked to distract her. Oliver flew into the air, engaging Malvora in a mid-air duel. Finally, Thumper managed to grab the star, and its light drove Malvora away. With all 4 stars in their possession, the team returned to Elder Oak. They placed the stars around the Lumina Bloom, and the combined light created a radiant barrier that protected the forest from harm. Elder Oak's voice was filled with pride. "You have done it again, my brave friends. The prophecy has been fulfilled, and the Whispering Woods is safe once more." The animals celebrated, their hearts filled with joy and gratitude. Thumper, Felix, Daisy, Oliver, and Pippin were hailed as heroes once again, their bond stronger than ever. And so, the Whispering Woods continued to thrive, a magical haven where light always triumphed over darkness, and where the spirit of adventure and friendship lived on forever. The Whispering Woods had been through many trials, but each time, its inhabitants had emerged stronger and more united. The Lumina Bloom, now surrounded by the 4 fallen stars, radiated a powerful light that kept the forest safe. The animals lived in peace, their days filled with laughter and joy. But as the years passed, a new mystery began to unfold, one that would take Thumper and his friends on their greatest adventure yet. One spring morning, Thumper was exploring a part of the forest he had never seen before. The trees here were taller, their branches intertwined to form a natural canopy. The air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers, and the ground was soft with moss. As he hopped along, he noticed something strange. A faint, golden glow coming from a cluster of ancient trees. Curious as ever, Thumper approached the trees. As he got closer, he realized that the glow was coming from a small, hidden grove. In the center of the grove stood a tree unlike any he had ever seen. Its bark was silver, and its leaves shimmered with a golden light. At the base of the tree was a pool of crystal-clear water, its surface reflecting the tree's radiant glow. Thumper's heart raced with excitement. He had never heard of this place before. He quickly returned to the forest to gather his friends. Felix, Daisy, Oliver, and Pippin were just as curious as he was, and together, they made their way back to the hidden grove. As they entered the grove, they felt a surge of magic unlike anything they had ever experienced. The air was alive with energy, and the ground seemed to hum beneath their feet. The silver tree stood tall and majestic, its golden leaves rustling softly in the breeze. "What is this place?" Daisy whispered, her eyes wide with wonder. Before anyone could answer, a voice echoed through the grove. It was soft and melodic, like the sound of wind chimes. "Welcome, brave ones, to the eternal grove." The animals turned to see a figure emerging from the shadows. It was a deer, but unlike any deer they had ever seen. Her coat was pure white, and her antlers glowed with a golden light. Her eyes were deep and wise, filled with the knowledge of ages. "I am Alara, guardian of the eternal grove," the deer said. "This grove is a place of ancient magic, a sanctuary for the heart of the forest. But now it is in danger." "What kind of danger?" Felix asked, his sharp mind already racing with possibilities. Alara's expression grew solemn. "The magic of the eternal grove is fading. The silver tree, known as the Everlight, is the source of its power. But its light is dimming, and if it goes out, the grove will be lost forever." Thumper stepped forward, his determination shining through. "We'll help. Tell us what we need to do." Alara nodded. "To restore the Everlight's power, you must journey to the 4 corners of the forest and retrieve the elemental crystals. Each crystal represents a force of nature, earth, water, fire, and air. Only by bringing them together can the Everlight be restored. The team exchanged determined glances. They had faced many challenges before, but this one felt different. The fate of the Eternal Grove and perhaps the entire forest depended on them. Their first stop was the Stoneheart Cavern, a deep, rocky cave hidden beneath the forest. The earth crystal was said to be hidden here, guarded by a creature of stone. As they ventured into the cavern, the ground beneath them rumbled, and a massive stone golem emerged from the shadows. The golem's eyes glowed with a fierce light, and its voice was like the grinding of rocks. "Who dares to enter my domain?" Thumper stepped forward, his voice steady. "We are here to retrieve the earth crystal. We mean no harm, but we must restore the Everlight." The golem studied them for a moment, then nodded. "Prove your worth by showing your strength and unity." The team worked together, using their combined skills to solve the golem's challenges. Thumper's agility, Felix's cleverness, Daisy's speed, Oliver's wisdom, and Pippin's resourcefulness allowed them to overcome each obstacle. Finally, the golem stepped aside, allowing them to claim the earth crystal. Next, they traveled to the Aqua Falls, a breathtaking waterfall that cascaded into a crystal-clear lake. The water crystal was hidden beneath the falls, protected by a water spirit. The spirit, a graceful creature made of flowing water, challenged them to a test of balance and harmony. Using their teamwork, the group navigated the slippery rocks and swirling currents to reach the crystal. The water spirit, impressed by their unity, granted them the water crystal. Their journey then took them to the Ember Plains, a vast expanse of volcanic rock and bubbling lava. The fire crystal was guarded by a fiery phoenix, its feathers blazing with heat. The phoenix demanded a test of courage, and the team faced its flames without flinching. Their bravery earned them the fire crystal. Finally, they ventured to the Skirich Cliffs, towering peaks that touched the clouds. The air crystal was hidden at the highest point, guarded by a powerful wind elemental. The elemental challenged them to a test of trust, and the team relied on each other to navigate the treacherous winds and reach the crystal. With all 4 elemental crystals in their possession, the team returned to the Eternal Grove. Alara greeted them with a smile. "You have done well, brave ones. Now, place the crystals around the Everlight." As they placed the crystals, a brilliant light erupted from the Everlight. The tree's golden leaves glowed brighter than ever, and the grove was filled with a radiant energy. The magic of the Eternal Grove was restored. Alara's voice was filled with gratitude. "Thank you, my friends. The Eternal Grove is safe once more, and the heart of the forest is strong." The animals celebrated, their hearts filled with joy and pride. Thumper, Felix, Daisy, Oliver, and Pippin had once again proven that with courage, teamwork, and determination, they could overcome any challenge. And so, the Whispering Woods continued to thrive, a magical haven where light always triumphed over darkness, and where the spirit of adventure and friendship lived on forever. The restoration of the Eternal Grove brought a renewed sense of peace and wonder to the Whispering Woods. The Everlight tree shone brighter than ever, its golden leaves casting a warm glow over the forest. The animals thrived, their days filled with joy and their nights with the gentle hum of the Lumina bloom. But as the seasons turned and the forest grew older, a new mystery began to unfold. One that would take Thumper and his friends on their most extraordinary adventure yet. One quiet evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars appeared in the sky, Thumper sat by the sparkling stream, listening to the gentle rustle of the leaves. The air was filled with the soft melodies of the forest, but tonight, something felt different. The songs of the birds and the whispers of the wind seemed to carry a new tune, one that was ancient and hauntingly beautiful. As Thumper listened, he noticed a faint, silvery light dancing among the trees. It moved like a will-o'-the-wisp, flickering and weaving through the branches. Intrigued, he followed the light, his heart pounding with curiosity. The light led him deep into the forest, to a place he had never seen before. A clearing bathed in moonlight, where the trees formed a perfect circle. In the center of the clearing stood a stone pedestal, and on it rested a small, intricately carved flute. The flute glowed with the same silvery light Thumper had seen earlier. As he approached, the air seemed to hum with energy, and the forest fell silent, as if holding its breath. Thumper reached out and gently picked up the flute. The moment he touched it, a surge of warmth spread through his body, and a voice echoed in his mind. It was soft and melodic, like the sound of wind chimes, but it carried a weight of ancient wisdom. "Thumper," the voice said, "you have been chosen. The song of the ancients has awakened, and the forest needs you once more." Before Thumper could respond, the voice faded, and the flute's glow dimmed. He hurried back to the forest to gather his friends. Felix, Daisy, Oliver, and Pippin were just as curious as he was, and together, they returned to the moonlit clearing. As they entered the clearing, the flute began to glow again, and the voice returned. The song of the ancients is a melody of great power, one that can heal the forest and protect it from harm. But the song is incomplete. To restore it, you must find the 3 lost verses, hidden in the farthest corners of the Whispering Woods. The team exchanged determined glances. They had faced many challenges before, but this one felt different. The song of the ancients was a mystery unlike any they had encountered. Their first clue led them to the Whispering Caves, a network of tunnels deep beneath the forest. The caves were filled with echoes, and it was said that the first verse of the song could be heard here. As they ventured into the caves, they encountered a colony of glowworms, their bodies casting a soft, blue light. The glowworms led them to a hidden chamber, where the walls were covered in ancient carvings. As Thumper played the flute, the carvings began to glow, and the first verse of the song filled the air. The melody was hauntingly beautiful, and the team felt a surge of magic as the verse was restored. Next, they traveled to the Crystal Lake, a serene body of water that reflected the sky like a mirror. The second verse was said to be hidden beneath the lake's surface, guarded by a water nymph. The nymph, a graceful creature with shimmering scales, challenged them to a test of harmony. Using the flute, Thumper played a melody that matched the rhythm of the lake's waves. The nymph, impressed by their unity, granted them the second verse. As the melody echoed across the lake, the water shimmered with a radiant light. Their journey then took them to the Ember Glade, a part of the forest where the trees glowed with a fiery light. The third verse was hidden here, protected by a flame spirit. The spirit demanded a test of courage, and the team faced its flames without flinching. Thumper played a melody that soothed the spirit's fiery heart, and it granted them the final verse. With all 3 verses restored, the team returned to the moonlit clearing. Thumper placed the flute on the stone pedestal, and the forest fell silent once more. As he played the complete song of the ancients, a brilliant light erupted from the flute, filling the clearing with a radiant energy. The trees swayed in harmony, their leaves shimmering with a golden light. The animals of the forest gathered, their hearts filled with joy and wonder. The song of the ancients had been restored, and the Whispering Woods was stronger than ever. Alara appeared once more, her eyes filled with gratitude. "You have done it, my friends. The song of the ancients will protect the forest for generations to come." The animals celebrated, their hearts filled with pride and joy. Thumper, Felix, Daisy, Oliver, and Pippin had once again proven that with courage, teamwork, and determination, they could overcome any challenge. And so, the Whispering Woods continued to thrive, a magical haven where light always triumphed over darkness. and where the spirit of adventure and friendship lived on forever.